Hi there. Hopefully that's us started. If you can let me know if this is all working. I've just set this up a different way. Uh, and the dogs are crying already as soon as I set up. That is so typical. Thank you so much for joining me. I see that Sharon from Nails by Sharon is already here. Um, so, have you had a good week? It seems to have flown by here. If this is your first time here, I'm Pam Duthie. I'm here to help you craft your career with marketing and artistic tips and help. And if you can hear a noise in the background, it's the dogs wrestling. They've been lying sleeping for ages and suddenly they've decided to waken up and be daft, which is so typical. Oh, hi, we've got Alison and Cassandra in here as well, and I'm just going to do a little something here if I can. So, Cassandra, a little something fun there for you. Yeah, so today I've got a new Facebook page that I want us all to have a look at. We've got some pages, some web pages that are hopefully interesting. And first of all, I just wanted to, the dogs wanted to say hi to Sharon. Yep, you're right. If I could turn the webcam and then put it down sensibly without breaking it, I would, and you could see them being idiots. They lie and sleep most of the day, but then they're up and yeah, just want to say hello to everybody. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is when you're selling online, what happens if a parcel goes missing? The reason I thought of this is quite often in Facebook people are talking about this. It's not just Etsy, it's selling on anywhere. People are talking about this and they're talking about their customers possibly trying to scam them and loads of complaints. And there's always kind of different, people have different ideas of what you should do about this, but I just wanted to put my take on it. And I might do a full video on this at some other point, but I just wanted to get it out there today. And the basis is, when a customer buys from you, their contract is with you, and it is, the agreement is they will buy this item and you will get it to them. And then you go to the post office or the courier or whatever, and you have a contract with the post office or the courier. If your mail supplier does not deliver it some way or another, that is not your customer's problem, that's your fault. If you think about it, if you're buying from Amazon and you say it never turned up, and Amazon say, oh well, we sent it, go and sort it out with your post office, you wouldn't buy from Amazon ever again. So absolutely the same. If you're selling online, your contract, your job is that the customer either has their money or they have the item. Now that's not to say, oh, I think Mia wants up. Come on, up. That's not to say that people don't try and scam you. But the thing is, if you're worried about them scamming you, then simply just put tracking on everything that you can, and then you can track it. And yes, if your courier says, updates the tracking and says absolutely yes it was delivered, they're at it, then you know. But if there's any doubt, then you're as well, basically you're as well refunding the customer or replacing them. If the item's that expensive that this is going to be a problem, then insure it. Okay, what have we got in the chat? Missy 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 is Chrissy from South Wales. Hi there, Chrissy. I'm a learner and my videos are fab. Thank you, that's so kind of you. You learn so much for uploading, you watch them all. Thank you so much. And Chris Anderson, good morning to you as well. And yeah, baby pup, she's curled up now. Let's show you off this. This is Mia again, Mia Cat McFuzzylugs. She was in many ways the reason I started on YouTube many years ago. Mia was just supposed to be a foster dog. She was in a pound in Ireland and it was a kill pound. She had 7 days before she would be put to sleep. So I did not have time for another dog. I couldn't afford another dog, but I offered to foster her. And that was nearly a decade ago. So we did a terrible job at fostering. But yes, this is she. She's she's fantastic with people, but has a few issues with other dogs sometimes. But she was my very first video I put up, was like 40 seconds of just filming, doing a little bit of training with her. Just to see how you can improve from your first video. It was utterly terrible. We were sitting on the floor, had no lighting or anything. I just pointed the camera at her. I think I at least hoovered before I filmed, but that was the extent of it. And we did a little bit of training, switched the camera off, put it up on YouTube, and that was it. But yes, she is very pretty. Um, I'll put some pictures of her up on the Facebook group. I'll put some pictures of both of them up. Ben's more polite and doesn't like actually sitting on me. He's at the end of the sofa, so you can't really see him. But I'll stick some pictures of them up later on once I'm off here. But they're quite a nice little matching pair. Getting on elderly now. She's nearly 10. She's very patient letting me do this. Don't do this with every dog. But she's nearly 10. You gonna look at the camera? No, she's not looking at the camera now. She's nearly 10 and starting to go a little bit white, but still pretty and still absolutely crazy, running about everywhere. And yeah, Cassandra, if you haven't noticed, I've given you the spanner as well. So Cassandra and Sharon are my moderators. This just means they have the power if they want to put anyone in a little timeout, but everyone's being behaved. And I just thought, because Cassandra and Sharon are both in my Facebook group and they're also growing YouTubers, so it's kind of nice to get a bit of help, you know, seeing the ins and outs of a live chat. Because if you guys haven't tried live yet, I totally recommend it. It's nerve-wracking, but it's worth doing. Sharon's Zoe has to be touching her always. Yeah, it's funny how they're just all so different. Like I say, Ben wouldn't be up this close to me most of the time. He would usually be round about where my feet are, but Mia would probably sit on my head if she wanted to. Yeah, so yeah, moderators, if you look beside someone's name in the chat, then you have options to put people into timeout and stuff. It just gives you a little bit of power, and hopefully well, thank you. Sharon's honoured to help you. No, I really do appreciate it, because it just helps out. It shouldn't be the case. Everyone's also so nice, but hopefully no one starts saying rude words or being mean, and then you can just have the power to block them. And here's Rodney. We were just on a live stream with Rodney like 10 minutes ago, so I take it that's your live finished. If you haven't checked him out, everyone, once you're done here, go over and check out Rodney B. Hunt as well. He's got lots of tech reviews, which is going to be useful, because my video tomorrow, I'm going to be talking more about making Etsy shop videos. So really useful. I've actually learned quite a bit from him as well, but some of the tech that you can use for recording a video. And I know quite a few of you are also YouTubers, so it's very useful, because always trying to upgrade, do better without spending too much money. Sharon has my back. Yay! Cool. Good to know. Good to know. Right. Let's get into this with a little... My transitions aren't classy, Rodney, so... But here we go. I just want to look over the past week. First of all, I'm pulling up again. Hopefully you've all seen it, my video of the pom-pom ladybird. Reason I'm bringing this up, if you haven't already, remember, consider making some of the leaves for Lauren. If you do any kind of work in needle felting, crocheting, knitting, or any kind of soft fiber type art, they're looking for leaves for a project to help out Lauren, so she can have a kind of wall that's a tree that'll help teach her about different seasons and hopefully animals and things. I noticed that they also said as well as leaves we can add little insects, so I had a go at making a pom-pom ladybird or ladybug. Where you guys live, do you call it a ladybird or a ladybug or something different? Excuse me. As Rodney knows, speaking to yourself is quite dry. But what do you call them? Ladybirds or ladybugs? I found it really weird the first time I heard someone call it a ladybug, but it makes sense. It's not a bird, but I just think it's a prettier name. But yeah, if you haven't, consider making some leaves for Lauren. I think it's a lovely, worthwhile little project, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Just use scraps of whatever you've got lying around, and nice, just if you just message her, I've got links in the videos to their Facebook page. If you message them, and they'll send you their address and you can ship it off to her. And I want to just give a wee shout out to a YouTube friend I have. Cara's Corner is makeup and beauty and lifestyle reviews for those of us slightly more mature, but she's a lovely lady. I've been following her for a good year now, and really excellent advice and tips, some good makeup reviews and everything. And you know, it's nice budget stuff as well. It's not all this, oh, I've got something great from Sephora and this from MAC. It's actually stuff that I could go out and buy, because I don't spend much I don't spend a whole lot of money on makeup, as you can probably tell. But yeah, totally get over and see her. She's quite lovely. Let's check the chat. Everyone says ladybug. That's cool. I thought that was an American thing. You say ladybug. It's just ladybird here. Yeah, I should have a link to Cara's Corner in the description of this video. If not, I'll stick it up. In fact, I can put it in the chat, can I? It's so professional. There we go. If you haven't seen her, get over and see her. Who have we got here? I am Tommy, sub to Rodney and Sharon. That's cool. It's really great to support each other. Just watch this whole sub for sub. Not always the best thing to do, but subscribe to people that you're interested in, support people that you're interested in with videos that you want to watch, and that's always a cool thing. Missy off to cook. Yeah, but it's coming up to that time. I just went a little bit later today because I wanted to pop over and watch Rodney. Actually, he started his stream at 3:30, and I just wanted to see him first, because it's always nice to hang out with your friends as well. And if you haven't, Cassandra is in the Tube Ritual group, I think, but Sharon, I don't know if you're in the Tube Ritual group. If you're not, that's a community that we're in as YouTubers. That's where I know Rodney and quite a lot of people, and it's really supportive for growing a YouTube channel. It's Brian G. Johnson's channel, who we spoke about last week. Oh, ladybirds are a type of aphid, so they're insects. I'm gonna think of them. I know they're insects and it should be a bug, but I prefer ladybird. They're pretty, so I prefer not to think of them as bugs. It's 11:45 where Sharon is. I'm sure you're in America somewhere. I can't remember whereabouts are you. It is currently 4:45 in the UK, and it is getting on for tea time. But but yeah, I know we have people. I think most of you are from America. I know Missy was from Wales, which is awesome. Link for the group. Yes, I can absolutely do that. I'll pop it up in our Facebook group, and you can get over there. I think actually you'll get on really great there, because I started in that group. I've been in there nearly a year now, and literally it was watching Brian G's videos and a few other people that gave me the idea to start trying to grow my YouTube channel. Brian G especially, because we sort of seem to think similarly in terms of SEO. A lot of the stuff I was doing on Etsy was similar to what he was doing on YouTube. So I thought about it and thought, oh, well, maybe I can use one to grow the other, kind of thing. So I joined with him about a year ago when I had 249 subscribers, and I'm over 2,000 now. That's the kind of help I got in that group. I mean, obviously, you're doing it you're doing it yourself. You know, you've got to do the work yourself. But everyone's so supportive, and they'll help you out with ideas and things. Like I say, Rodney has some good tips and advice as well. He's not just tech reviews. He just actually reviewed my channel on his live stream. So if you go, by the time we're finished here, his live stream should be uploaded, so you can get over and check that out once you're done here. Sharon's the East Coast in Pennsylvania, and Chris, it's 11:45 to in Indiana. It's cool. It's all these places. I think of this as well, right? I'm not very well travelled. I haven't had the opportunity yet. But on Etsy, if you haven't looked, there's a map of all the places that you've sold to, and it's really great seeing all the little dots all over the world. I've sent my fuzzies to every continent except for Antarctica, which is really cool. And even like my little postman loves it when I go down. We're like, oh, it's Chattanooga today, and all the places we're sending my little fuzzies to in the world that I'm never going to get a chance to visit. I should ship myself one time. But it's so cool to just see all over the world that you can touch with. Well, people watch videos of you from all over the world. People buy your stuff from all over the world. It's pretty awesome. Right, where were we? Yes, if you're not in my Facebook group, you'll have missed Linda from Bad Wolf Designs popped up a really good blog post that I've linked to in the comments on chat. I will also pop into here. If you haven't read this, I'd totally recommend checking it out. This is something, oh, hiccups now. This is something I've been planning on making a video about for quite some time. But it's a bit about pricing online. How much is your time worth? When people are wanting to buy something that you've handmade all by yourself, and it's taken you many hours, and people only want to spend pennies on it. I've mentioned this before years ago when I went to my first and one of my very only craft fairs, and I was sort of embarrassed to charge what I should charge. So I had a table full of my little dogs. Some of these had taken like 2-3 hours work, and it was getting really good feedback. You know, people were liking the look of them, and kids were dragging their parents there, and then the parents would come over and look at it, and I was only charging £5 for one of my little dogs. I've always got one. This is my working on. So one of my little dogs, this takes, I think he was about 4 hours. So I was only charging about £5 for this. And the mother came over and she picked it up by a leg or by an ear, but not very carefully. She picked it up and said, £5 for a toy, and dropped it back onto the table. And I was just totally crushed. But it was much later after that, and I thought about it, and I thought, 4 hours work for £5 for a total stranger, when I could have been walking on the beach with my dog. I could have been doing my own thing. So actually, I didn't want to sell it to her for £5. I didn't want to work for her for £5. And as time has gone on, even more so, now that I've had, over 1,000 people have bought fuzzy sculptures from me. So it would be an insult to the people that have paid full price for me to give it away to somebody else. So yeah, if someone doesn't want to pay the prices that you need to make a living, then don't give them your stuff. But yes, as a sidetracked as usual. It's the Scottish thing in me. If you've watched Billy Connolly, we tend to get sidetracked. I'm really not bad compared to normal people. But anyway, Bad Wolf Designs, Linda, her post is really worth checking out if you haven't. She writes so much better than I write, makes a whole lot of sense, and is really worth reading that post of hers. Chris thinks it would be wonderful to have their scented wax all over the world. Absolutely, and you will have. It'll happen, and I think it's a lovely thing to see that. But yeah, keep working at it. I never thought that I would see that, and then you get your first international order, and it's a bit exciting. And then different continent, and yeah, it's all pretty cool, and it'll happen. Sharon, what platform do I suggest for blogging? There's loads of platforms out of there. I know a lot of people like WordPress. I haven't used it. You can also, looks like Linda's on Wix. I do actually have a Wix site as well, and I find that fairly easy to use. It's pretty nice. But actually, I just use Blogger. And the reason I started now, this was many years ago I started on Blogger, so it's not quite the same now, but I started there because Blogger is also a Google owned company like YouTube. So you get a slight, or you used to, I haven't checked if this is true now, but it's slightly easier to rank on a Blogger site, because to rank on Google on a blog site, and it's really, really simple to use. But if you want to go onto a paid platform or something, I believe WordPress is quite easy to integrate when you start paying for a blog. But yeah, honestly, I can only recommend, the only one that I use is Blogger. People use WordPress, and I've used Wix for websites. That's all I can say. Yeah, Sharon, with the craft fair thing. Yeah, people often just want a total bargain, and they don't think what they're getting. And I'm sure we all do it one way or another. But that's why when I'm shopping, and well, when I'm selling, that's why I sell far, far more on Etsy than I think about selling on eBay. Is in general, people come to Etsy and they're expecting handmade, so they are willing to pay for your time. I've always been madly surprised on Etsy. I remember, years ago, I spent ages and I made my first horse, and I was so proud of it because horses are ridiculously difficult to make. I mean, especially if you don't use a wire frame, but I'm amazed that horses can stand up, not even kidding. They have such big bodies and spindly wee legs. So it was really tough to make this, and I wasn't sure I wanted to sell it. So I put him up on my Etsy page for, I think I went like huge for me at the time, and I put him up for £100 because I thought I'll keep him for a wee while. I don't want him to sell him too quickly, and maybe when I've moved on and I'm not quite so in love with him, I'll drop the price. And he actually sold that very day. I never have that happen. Anyone who's selling on Etsy, that's pretty rare for big works. I mean, if you're putting up small cheap items, they might sell quickly, but for me that was certainly really rare to list something and it to sell immediately. And that was a real eye-opener for me, in that on a site like Etsy, if you treat your work like it's quality, if you treat it like it's art, then other people will value it as well. I was kind of worried about pushing the prices up, but actually sometimes you can sell more by having a higher price. Not going crazy greedy, but maybe a little bit more than you think you would have charged. And then people will think, wow, this is really worth something. And also, my other way of thinking about it is, if it took you 4 hours to make, then you want someone to value that 4 hours. You want them to really kind of enjoy what you've made. So if they're only spending a few pounds on it, then probably after a couple of weeks it's going to be dropped on the floor in a corner. Whereas if they have to save up a little bit, if they have to actually really think about buying it, then they're going to cherish what you've made. They'll put it up on a high shelf to be viewed. I mean, some of my first works that I made, I remember selling them to people and they came back to me, they'd bought glass domes to keep them covered and keep them safe. And that just made me so happy. It's like, okay, I've put all this love and attention into it, and it's great that you're taking it and valuing it. So I would rather have one sale to someone who values something than 20 sales to people who are going to drop something in the corner. So really important to think of when you're pricing things. And yeah, here we go, me spoiling what I was going to make in videos. Yeah, this will be a video in the future, although I've probably covered most of the topics that I would cover there. Sharon, how do I handle shipping if people want multiple items? Basically, on Etsy, it gives you the option for that. You have each additional item, you can put an additional charge. I think I charge a nominal extra, like a 50p or a dollar. I'm mixing up my currencies there, 50p or a pound for each additional item if they're not big and heavy, because my littlest sculptures, like these guys, the boxes I ship them in, I can fit another one in anyway, or you know, I can go up, I can probably ship about 4 or 5 for the same kind of postal rate, so it's perfectly okay to do that. They can just order several, and then once it gets into bigger orders, once someone's ordered about 5 or something, then I can eat the extra cost of the shipping. I don't mind that. And with my bigger items, I do have a little, he's naked just now, don't be shocked, he's naked, but these guys in a bigger shipping box, I can fit some more things, so it's not really a big deal with needle felting. The weight is not an issue. So actually, I don't know how it is in other countries, but certainly in the UK for our postal service, with the weight of those and the size of the boxes I need, it's not going to affect my actual price for shipping. So just charge a little bit more for like packing costs, and yeah, that works fine. Cheers, Rodney. No problem at all. Chris, I agree with pricing for value, but what about a product like mine that gets used up and not kept under glass? How do you handle that, taking my time into consideration? Well, again, with your scented waxes and things, yes, your time is important. It's a different thing in that if what you're making is just like everybody else's, then your pricing has to be equivalent to them. So I would look at standing out, which I think it was your stuff I looked at last week, I believe. And you've got your wax pours making different layers and things, looking at different packaging, also making a big deal of the quality of the scents that you use and how you blend them and everything. It would be to stand out as being better quality, mixing extras into the wax, you know, to make it look prettier. Like you have the different shapes, you know, like your emojis and stuff. It's just standing out as different. It's very much like I say, my mum's a, that's the dog scratching if you can hear it. My mum does knitting, and what we found with her, some of the best things is, yes, she could knit, or she can knit, cheap acrylic gloves that are awesome, but the markup on that isn't so much. People don't pay for your time so much. It's much better to buy luxury fibres like cashmere. Spend a bit extra to buy the raw ingredients, but people will carry a better markup for a quality ingredient, for a quality raw material. So if you're really wanting to get paid for your time, it's better to up your quality if you can. And from what I remember, your shop did look really nice quality anyway, but big up on that, you know, talk about how your stuff is better than the person selling it at half the price. Excuse me. Rodney, thank you. Yes, don't forget to hit the like button if you like what we're doing here. I'm losing my voice already. And yes, we have to move on. And thank you so much for your questions. Your questions here really make this into a nice interactive thing rather than just a flat video. And I said we're going to have a wee look at Mary Designs Facebook page. Mary Designs is in my Pam Duthie's Felting Friends Facebook page. And if you're wanting me to either review your shop at any point or look at your Facebook page, then don't forget, join that group, dump a link into the various threads for these things, and I'll check you out in order. If you're looking to jump the queue at any point, if you want more individual advice on your shop or to jump a queue in getting your page looked at, then there are links to my Patreon. You can sponsor me in Patreon, give a little tip for the dogs to get some dinner. No, they're getting fed anyway. Or you could drop a super chat, which is the grey dollar down below the chat. Either way, just a little tip that will get you to the to the front of the queue. But either way, I'll get through and I'll review and check out everybody who's supporting me either through the group or through the Patreon. But we've got Mary Designs on Facebook. Links are in the description down below. Stained glass home decor and jewellery design, which sounds lovely. Oh, Chris, you're very welcome. I'm glad if it helps. It's just trying to think outside the box for things. So let's, I won't go right through a thing. Where's photos? There we go. So let's have a look at what Mary makes. I do love stained glass. So here we have some fun stained glass birds. I should be using, so Rodney, I did get the marker tool so I can zoom in on, I can mark things like draw lines here. Oh wow, apparently you're insane if you can draw a nice neat perfect circle, so I am very far away from insane, but I just wanted to showcase this little pendant, which looks awesome. I'm not sure if that seems to have some like gold leaf or gold design on it, and it's just really eye-catching. I love the photography on that as well. Have I've got that? Just check the chat. Stewie Griffin, love the name. New to the channel, subbed and liked the channel. Welcome here, Stewie. Nice to have you here. For some, oh there we go. It's open. There's no more detail there, but yeah, it looks like some kind of gold leaf and a beautiful black stone. That looks like a lovely pendant. Photography for jewelry is so important, and looks like she's got some nice photography going on there. And stained glass. Oh, it's a mirror. Fantastic. Very Rennie Mackintosh. If you don't know, I live just outside Glasgow, and Rennie Mackintosh was the designer that's famous for these kind of designs. There's places here with his work. There was, I'll have to check how it's doing. The Glasgow School of Art was a Rennie Mackintosh designed building, but it went on fire a while ago, so I'll have to check how that did. But there's also a lovely place in Glasgow, the Willow Tea Rooms, which is very Rennie Mackintosh, if you know the style. Lovely long metalwork, elegant chairs, and this kind of stained glass work with the stylized roses and everything. Beautiful place. Took a friend there a few years ago. Their afternoon tea is fantastic, very posh. Stewie was born in Edinburgh. Cool, not far away. Where are you now? But yeah, the Willow Tea Rooms, it was lovely. I had a friend, she was up from Manchester, and we decided for a bit of a treat we'd go for high tea there, and it is proper fancy. The staff are all dressed in fancy uniforms, and your high tea comes on your, you know, your fancy three-tiered plate and everything. And while we were there, just to to make it extra special? Well, firstly, one of my other friends I was with knew some of the staff in the tea room, so we got into the special, really fancy room. And then while we were there, the couple at the table next to us, he proposed to her, so they got engaged. So there was celebrations all happening. It was really quite a cool experience. But if you're in Glasgow and you like that kind of stuff, head out to the Willow Tea Rooms. I think it's on Sauchiehall Street. Stewie, just sometimes to wind up friends, say, can he be bothered to do it? He's in down south, Mrs. Scotland. Yes, I was born up here in Scotland, but then from my childhood we moved down to England because dad needed the work. But I got up here for uni and I've stayed up ever since. I miss the weather. I have to admit, I love Glasgow, I love this area, and I'm so lucky. I've got a beach half an hour away, I've got hills 10 minutes away, I've got forests, and they're all lovely and green because it rains a lot. But I do love it here. Anyway, so that's Rennie Mackintosh. Oh, and this pen looks really nice as well. It's a lovely stylized, right, is it Art Nouveau or Art Deco? These kind of looks are, I can't remember, I always get them muddled up, but I love that. It's really strikingly different. And stones, and I love the photography on the beach. I think that's a great idea to do that. Anything that's stands out from everything else that's that's everywhere out, especially if you're aiming to sell these things online, or you're wanting people to share it on things like Pinterest. You know, the internet is so visual now. If something stands out from the crowd, looks a little bit different, or inspires you in some way or another, then it's really cool to get photography like that. I know last week, was it last week? Can't remember. The other week I was talking about PhotoFuse and how you can remove backgrounds and get that lovely crisp white look, which is lovely if your item is amazing. But the problem is everybody else can kind of do that now. So you might blend into the background with everyone else. So like I was saying to Chris last week, it's if you can make a real striking picture that's a bit different, like with her candles and wax melts, if you can have something that inspires you of what the item is, or really just pops out and hits you between the eyes. And I think photography on a beach, because everybody loves a beach, and also the light is so much better. That's probably just coming in for sunrise or probably sunset. The light's beautiful. It's a stone that looks like an ice cream sandwich. Fantastic picture. Hi there, Amit. Is that how you pronounce your name? I'm hopefully right, but thumbs up. I've only got 2 thumbs up I can send back. Oh, fantastic, interesting rocks. That's pretty cool. I don't know what that would, is that some kind of coral? No idea, but it's very cool. And here we're into some more, the fused glass jewellery. There's a place out in Argyll that I went to, just a little studio when I was away on a friend's hen weekend, and we went there and there was a little fused glass jeweller there, and we all bought ourselves a little necklace there. I love that kind of stuff. It's so pretty. Some really nice photography as well. I don't know where it is or what it is. It would be lovely to have a bit of a description here, Mary, but I totally love some of these pictures. Are really cool. And some beach glass. Oh, that's cute. Using the beach glass to make a little beach scene. So what's everyone thinking of Mary's Facebook page? I think it's great. I think some of these pictures are awesome. Sharon, yes, hen weekend. Is that not what everyone else calls it? Um, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I've seen American films where you talk about stag weekends, so I know you have stag. I know you have stag parties. You do have hen parties. It's the female equivalent of stag party, although ours wasn't wild and raucous. That weekend, so we went a good couple of hours out into the hills of Scotland, a little place on a loch by the beach. And what we did, we had barbecue. We rented out this little cottage, and we had barbecues on the lawn. And then my friend had wanted to do horse riding, so we found a place that they did pony trekking, that they let you went with the ponies across through the forest and everything down onto the beach, and you could take the horses into the water and swim with them in the water. If we could have managed the full day, it was even cooler because you went right across the loch, and there was a pub on the other side. So while they dried off and tended to the horses, you went in and had your pub lunch, and then you got to gallop across the beach back home, which sounded awesome. But we just had a wee swim with the horses, which was, well, it would have been a fantastic experience. It was a fantastic experience, but I got the biggest horse of the lot. So while all the rest of them were swimming, mine was still just kind of walking. But it was really cool. Um, yeah, Cassandra and Sharon, they are beautiful pictures. That's, if there's one thing, if you make anything, the one thing that you should always be striving to improve is getting better and better pictures, because I'm not going to say that's just beach class. It's not. It's beautiful. It's fantastic, but it's so much better. I mean, if that was just put on like a white sheet and photographed, you'd be like, nah, that's all right. But taking a picture like that, it's awesome. And Haley's house, I don't know where that is. Sorry. Mary's Designs, which is links. Well, I'll put the link here. If you message them, um, drop them a message and ask them where it is. But they're really beautiful. Look at this. Oh, this looks really fancy. That is lovely. Again, fantastic picture. Just up to the sky, so you can see the light coming through, and the engravings, I assume. Very cool. But yes, it should, we should all inspire ourselves to try and try and think of making your photography better. And Chris, the exact same thing. If you're wanting, oh, the horses. Sorry. I'll have to remember. Do you know? Do you know Scotland? Are you local? I remember we went to. It was Inverary, past there, past Arica, and down the loch a bit. I can't remember which loch we were on at that point, but you go, basically it was a beautiful drive to get there. You go up Loch Lomond and then cut across Loch Long. I think we're on Loch Fyne, where there's the best seafood is absolutely fantastic. So we went down Loch Fyne, and it's somewhere that begins with an A, but it's not Arica because we'd passed there. But it's about a 2 hour drive from Glasgow, 2 or 3 hours from Glasgow, and it's really lovely. Like I say, we'd hired a cottage and we were just looking over the loch. Really beautiful place. But I will have to try and find it again, and I'll let you know, Hallie, if I can find it. No, you're in Sussex. Well, it's travelable. It's not quite a day trip, but it was years ago. But I would totally recommend, if the weather's good, hiring a cottage. Some, like, Argyll is such a beautiful place to explore. It's like so different from everywhere else. So if you can, hire out a cottage, have a look for horse riding, and that these kind of magical experiences. They're not all over the place, but there's quite a lot of them. hello, oh, I'm gonna mess up your name. Len. I'm sorry. How do I pronounce your name? I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna garble that. But happy Sunday. Um, yeah. Last we look at Mary's house because I'm gonna have to get off and make my tea soon. But a gingerbread man out of beach glass. Sea glass, that's the name I'm looking for. That's pretty cool. Oh, Hallie's planning on a trip to Scotland. Where are you thinking of coming? There's so many cool places. It really depends what you're looking for. Stewie will tell you Edinburgh's lovely. In August, if you're feeling touristy, Edinburgh's fantastic, obviously for the festival and the Fringe, more importantly than the festival. Um, I'm biased, but I think the West Coast's better. Glasgow's a great place to stage from because you're only, an half an hour you're at Loch Lomond, and then another hour or so you're up in Glencoe. Beaches here aren't that far away. Ayr and Troon and Prestwick are less than an hour away, and they're really cool beaches. So yeah, wherever, it's all cool. Yes, where was I? Yes, more of this Rennie Mackintosh type designs. And some earrings. That's lovely. I'm absolutely terrible for jewelry. Like this is me normally. I don't have no bracelets, no necklace, nothing in my ears. I I'm such a cheap date. No jewelry, no rings, no nothing. I do own some, I just always forget to wear it basically. Oh, it looks like a wee hummingbird or something. That's very cute. It's a brooch. Yes, it's a hummingbird. I was right as well. Somewhere out of the way, not a city girl. I don't blame you at all, Hayley. There's lots of that. The Borders has some fantastic, very remote places. I stayed a few times. There's a cottage in Glentress, which was about half an hour away from Hoyk, and it's down this long, it's about 3-4 miles single track lane to this cottage, and it's absolutely fantastic. We were on a working sheep farm, so the only other people was the farmer. He was about walking distance down, and the really cool thing about the farmer, well, cool for me, but his sheepdog had just had a litter of puppies, and he let us go down and kidnap the puppies and take them up to the cottage and let them play in the garden. That was absolutely cool. And my friends, of course, have two of the puppies from that litter, and I very nearly had one myself. Um, yeah, so that was cool. So the Borders are awesome. Because even up there's areas around Loch Ness that are fairly quiet and out of the way as well. Oh, hi, Mum. Yeah, the NC 500. If you haven't heard, this is a new tourist route that they're doing up around where Mum lives. Mum's just past Inverness and Bewley, and this is a road trip area that a loop they've set up to drive round the Highlands, which is pretty awesome. Although I've not driven much of it, some of my friends have. Obviously, there's bed and breakfasts and stuff along the way, but from what I heard last year, it was super busy in that a lot of the bed and breakfast needed booked up in advance, so you might have to go a bit further afield. Hallie, you're from Sussex, so it won't. You'll understand about roads, but I know a lot of my American friends were a little bit blown away that such a big, important kind of new tourist route has single track roads. It doesn't have, it's not like motorways. It's a proper nice fun drive. It's I know a lot of bikers love it as well, but yes, you're going to have single track roads. You're passing places. You're going to have A roads. You're going to have B roads. It's going to be a mix of all those things, but it is very cool. Oh, here we go. Yes, Mary Designs is on Etsy as well. I possibly have her shop to review at some point. I don't remember them all. And that is absolutely beautiful. A little butterfly in purples and blues. Anyone who's been on here for 2 minutes knows that purple's my favourite colour by far. Well, kind of a giveaway, but yeah, I love purple. And a fish. Again, fantastic photography with the water behind. And it's something, even if you can't, it's best if you can get out beside the sea and take fantastic pictures. But if you can't, there's websites you can go to get stock photos, just so long as you check that they're royalty free, that you can use them for commercial use. You could use a stock photo and then use either any photo editing software you've got or PhotoFuse to remove your item from its background and put this great picture behind if you can't get out and take these kind of pictures. Because it's certainly a problem I've had with my photographs. On a beautiful day, I'll go out into the woods and take pictures of my sculptures in the woods. And then what happens is it rains for the next like 4 months and I can't do any more, so I have to revert back to the white background. But that is another option to get royalty free backgrounds to put your images in front of. Poison apple. A delicious apple. Oh no, yeah, poison apple. There we go, I was right. And that's really cute kind of design. It's still got the feel of the Rennie Mackintosh or the, I don't know, I still don't know, Art Nouveau, Art Deco. I think it's Art Deco I'm thinking. I think Art Nouveau is the kind of more flowing type. I'm speaking rubbish, I don't know these things. But it's still got that feeling, but then with the ice cream cone as well. That's a cool mix of styles. Very nice. And more hummingbirds. Oh, plant decorations. Pretty, and it's a lovely blue, and they really catch the light on a windowsill. But anyway, so everyone, remember, check out Mary Designs and check out everybody else I've got in the links, and check out each other as well, because there's some really cool YouTube channels here. I say Rodney has got some great advice. Sharon, good nail designs. Yeah, I kept meaning to do my nail better, to do my feature nail better, but I don't know where this week went, so I haven't done that. Cassandra Hall as well, and following her first steps in needle felting. She's getting really close to finishing her first project, so that's quite exciting. And everybody else. But yeah, if there's no more questions or anything, I think I'm going to be off tonight. I'm having a wee adventure in cooking. For those of you that don't know, I've been eating ketogenic diet for over a year now, so I'm trying different things, and I'm going to be trying the keto fried chicken tonight, and it's really looking forward to it because kind of missed like going out and buying KFC, but I've never really deep fried anything. I used to work in a chip shop when I was a kid, but I've never deep fried anything. But I'm gonna be brave and try this keto fried chicken. So I'll let you all know. But guys, thank you all for joining me. It's been great fun, and I should. Oh, Sharon will do my nails if she ever gets to Scotland. Awesome, thank you. I'll take you up on that. I've never had my nails done. Rodney, you have a good day too. Nice to chat to you. It was good to get on your live stream as well. And hopefully, guys, I plan to be back hopefully about the same time next week. But Rodney had his live the hour before, so if you're addicted to live streams, then feel free to drop in there. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys, and I'll catch you next week.